Hello everybody, welcome to another update on the Stock Screener. Today we continue with our video series of Verde Agritech. And on Friday we had a nice close, up 6%. I think there might be downside on the stock market, but this is a buying opportunity. You can see we have higher lows, and I think this will be another higher low. So we are going to go much higher. I wanted to expand on this market study in this video. And most important chart is, of course, this here. And it tells us what the market potential is for potash in Brazil. So here you can see the amounts of market potential for Verde's products, and it's around 70 million. Okay, and this is important because let's go to my presentation here. There is a saying, we lose money on every ton we sell, but we'll make it up in volume. And this is very applicable to Verde Agritech because they are going to increase massively in volume. And they are not losing money, okay? But I wanted to talk about this volume power. I call this volume power. Not pricing power, but volume power. So let's take a look at a competitor, which is Nutrien. And we all know they had 15 million tons of potash production. In 2022, they increased it somewhat. But when you look at the global potash industry, it is around 60 millions of tons. So that's about 25% market share. So Nutrien, I mean, they can increase their production a lot, but it's not like they can increase it 100-fold or 20-fold, because then they would gain like more than 100% of market share, and that's impossible. So Nutrien has no volume power. They cannot increase their production that much. They already have 25% of market share. Now, if we compare this to Verde, Verde only has 1% of market share. So they currently produce 1 million tons in their latest news release. And when you compare this to the current market in Brazil, that's about 1.5% market share. I said 1% here. So that's tiny, okay? So there is a lot of volume power left. They can easily go to 25% market share. So they are going to 15% market share in 2024. So from 1 million tons to 13 million tons capacity. And then they will go to 23 million tons, maybe in 2026. I don't know. But 25% market share is very doable. And that's only Brazil, of course, because they only sell the product in Brazil currently. So that's comparable with Nutrien with a 25% market share, and they will have hopefully this 25% market share in Brazil. So that is the volume power that I'm talking about. This 1% can grow to 25%. And you can't do that with Nutrien, okay? So that's why Verde Agritech is such a good company to invest in, because it has massive growth. Now, this volume power can translate into pricing power. Okay? And that's what I was talking about. They will make it up in volume. So they can decrease their prices, gain market share, and make it up in volume. And to illustrate this, we go to our calculations. So let's say the price is now 1,200, right? The PE is around 2.5, very cheap. And then it goes to 1.2 next year. And then with 13 million, they will go to below 1. And if it goes to 23 million tons, it goes to a tiny amount of 0.1 PE. So by increasing volume, they can have a very low PE. So they have pricing power now. So they can actually decrease their selling price. So now the PE is 3.5 and then 1.7, and it's still very low, 0.26 in 2024, and still tiny. So they can still decrease to, let's say, 800. Then they would have a PE currently at 5, going to 2.5 next year. And then in 2024, it's still at half PE. So their pricing power is very strong. We can even put it to 700. And then again, we have a PE of 0.6 in 2024 and PE of 4 next year. So they can even keep on decreasing to 600. And yeah, you still have very profitable numbers at 600. Let's try 550. Okay, so here it's going higher, the PE, and here PE of 10 next year. So that's not that good. But here we are still at PE of 1 and 2 in the future. Okay, you probably don't want to wait three years to only get a PE of 2. So I think we are at our limit here at 550. But you can get my point here. Let's put it back to 1,200. You get my point here. They have a lot of pricing power as well, because they can sell their product at a lower price to the farmers. And of course, the farmers will buy it. Of course, they will buy it. Do you want to buy potash at 1,000 or at 600? Of course, you will buy it at 600. So Verde has a lot of pricing power due to their volume power. And the following chart illustrates this. So you have 3 curves here. The first curve is the blue one, and that's at 1,200 potash. And we are currently at this level here. So the PE is around under 3. Next year, it will go to 1.5. And then it will keep on decreasing as we increase our sales up to 13 million tons here. So the PE will be around 1, below 1, and then going to a tiny amount of 0.1. So that's at current potash prices. At 800, the curve will shift up. So that's the PE then at 5.5, and next year going to 3, and then it will go down like this to this level below 1, and still very low when you have a lot of volume coming in. Then we go to the $600 per ton potash. Then we see a much higher PE curve. Okay, so the PE curve is, we call this hyperbole. So it's an exponential curve, but inverted. And that's very interesting, right? You can see here that the trend lines are going down exponentially as we increase our volume. So we are now at a very high growth stage, going from 1 million to 2 million. And then immediately we are going to above 10 million production. And we have a lot of pricing power this way, because we can just decrease our prices. The farmers will buy everything because it's so cheap, and we are still making a lot of money. It's a PE of below 2, almost 1. You can see here it's PE of 1 when we sell all the product at a very cheap price. So let's take a look at this curve here. So I added this one, and that's the PE ratio at $500 per ton. So it's much higher than, but still it eventually goes to around PE of 3. So we can actually reduce the potash price to even $500 if we want. So that was the video. I wanted to show how our volume increase, our growth in volume can actually translate into pricing power. So keep that in mind. Verde is a very high growth company and has very strong volume power. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.